Hey there everybody, Brian here. Before we get started, I just want to say thanks for tuning in and I'm happy to see all of you here. As you may have noticed, we've hit a big milestone recently, reaching 50,000 subscribers, and we couldn't have done it without all of you. To celebrate the occasion, Mr. Ripper, myself, and Dave will all be live streaming a D&D adventure together, which will be a first for myself and for Big Daddy Ripper too. Stay tuned and keep your eyes peeled as the announcement for the stream's date will be revealed soon. Until then, let's get right back into it. D&D players, what was your funniest Nat 20 moment, Part 2? I was a level 3 dwarf paladin and we were resting at this old barracks in the woods. We definitely needed the rest because we were low on health and spells. It was a hard ride. During the second night watch, it was the turn of our wizard and the warlock. There was some noise in a bush. The wizard poked it with a stick and 2 goblins jumped out. The goblins talked to each other but weren't aggressive at all. So, obviously the wizard threw a fireball at them. Long story short, we were surrounded by at least 16 goblins and I, the only melee of the group, had to get closer to fight. Before I could even land a single hit, I go down. The goblin leader, only one with a real sword, stands now in front of me and I make my first death saving throw. Nat 20.
You're up again with 1 hit point.
Can I attack him?
Why not? He didn't have an action yet.
Nat 20.
So I roll double damage, Divine Smite plus Sacred Weapon, Warhammer, Versatile, equals 41.
With your glowing warhammer and a mighty smash right to the chin, you make the goblin leader explode out of existence. Now, covered in blood and pieces of flesh, you stand in front of the other goblins. With their mouths open, they let their weapons drop to the ground and start to worship you.
So I start a new cult that I am the god of?
Yep.
So I was playing a chaotic good blood hunter, and my party was holding some captive and his hands were tied. My OC, trying to be nice, and said, "Can I feed him a pickle?" What? My DM said, "Okay, roll and add strength?" I roll a nat 20 and my DM sees my roll.
I roll a perfect 20.
You shove the pickle down his throat.
Okay, we're going here.
You shove the pickle down his throat so much that he starts struggling to breathe. While the pickle juice burns his throat, he takes 35 damage. Why? Everyone in the party laughing their heads off. My OC.
I'm so sorry, sir. I was just trying to feed you a pickle.
I think you might want another one, Nemco.
You sure? Okay.
Not again.
Not one thing, but one group I currently run for has a tendency to just crush rolls when it doesn't matter. Last skeleton has only 3 HP left. Better believe the rogue with the Sunblade is gonna get a critical sneak attack. Empty dead-end room. With that 29 investigation, you've never been more certain in your life that this room has nothing to hide. That end table that the rogue biffed the thieves' tools on? Fighter destroys it with a strength check so that the party gets literally pocket change. I know I'm really late and I've never played as a DM, but I have a funny story of how we dubbed a party member Bimbo the Destroyer. So it was my first time doing combat in D&D, and I was playing a Dragonborn Paladin. Now, my party was fighting some low-level gnolls that were causing trouble in a silver mine outside of the starting town, and I had gotten off some pretty decent damage using my poison breath. So, there's 2 more important characters, our Orc Ranger named Abraham Lincoln, yes, he really named his character that, and our Goblin Bard, Bimbo. Now, this is not all accurate, as it's been a while since I've told this story, but I'll try to retell it as accurately as I can.
I would like to throw the goblin.
You want to throw a party member? You do know you could possibly hurt them.
Yes.
Alright, roll for strength.
Rolls a nat 20.
Okay, so you pick the goblin up and throw him with perfect accuracy at the gnoll. Roll for dex, Bimbo.
Goblin also rolls a nat 20.
So, Bimbo flies toward the knoll, and at first it seems like he missed, until you see the marble-sized hole through the knoll's head, who then falls over dead. Bimbo roll for intimidation on the other knoll.
Motherfucker rolls another nat 20.
The knoll, without hesitation, picks up his short sword and slits his own throat.
Now at this point, most of us are in awe and doubled over laughing, and that's about what I remember. Not a DM, but a player. One time, one of the other players, I forget what they were playing as, rolled to get a glass of water in a tavern. The DM said multiple times that it wasn't necessary, but the player insisted. They rolled a nat 20, and our DM had to come up with the coolest way for someone to get water. Then, about a minute later, I rolled a nat 20 on stealing the water. That was silly. A player here. The Dragonborn in our group and I were doing perception checks on anything and everything in our last dungeon. We came across one room and the Dragonborn rolls a 5. He sees nothing in the room. Then I roll a nat 20. Our dungeon master, fed up with our bullshit by now, says,
Guys, there's nothing there. It's just a fucking room.
We ended up completing that 4-session dungeon in about 2 because we found 3 hidden rooms in the first session. I had found a cursed bracelet that no one else in the party wanted. As a monk, it allowed me to cast Fireball 3 times a day at a cost. There was a 50% chance that the cast would become infernal, causing the bracelet to consume me with the rage of a dark god, drop me to 1 HP, and boost the rest of my stats for 1d3 rounds, after which I would fall unconscious if I didn't die. I also had no control over my character, and he would attack random targets. I could roll to resist though, which was funny. Got into a battle with a black dragon, party basically on our last legs, so I took a chance. Bracelet went dark mode. Rolled to resist, nat 20. I absorbed the negative effects and gained the benefits for 2 rounds. I 2-shotted a black dragon at more than 70% health. Booyah, bitches! Me and my friends were playing D&D and came across a swamp. This one guy had infinite Jesus pamphlets. Okay, because he asked me at the beginning of the game and rolled 20. I don't know why, but I just let him have the Jesus pamphlets for some reason. So they found a lizard folk shaman, the boss of the swamp. The guy with the pamphlets asked, can I convert him to Christianity? I said, sure, nat 20. Yeah, he used the shaman to convert many snakes to help beat the Wyvern. Was playing a futuristic cyberpunk campaign in which our party members rode in a covered wagon pulled by 2 robotic horses with AI. This was a few years ago, so I don't remember why I did this, but I begged our DM to let me roll for hacking the horses. My character was a bit of a tech guru. Eventually, he relented and let me roll. Nat 20. I hacked the horses and do not remember at all what I did with these hacked horses. Not a DM, but the whole situation happened involving my character. We were new to the game, so we weren't taking things all that seriously. We had just gotten out of a small fight with some goblins, and I was messing around with one of the other party members. He decided to ask the DM if he could flick my ear. The DM obliged and said if he rolled anything less than a nat 20, it would miss/do no damage. So he rolled, and as you may have guessed, a nat 20. Because we had just gotten out of the fight, I was still lowish health, so the flick immediately killed me. At that point, I just got up and walked away from the session, and I could hear them just burst out laughing. This created a meme in our group dubbed Critical Flick. I like that. I actually like that. Not a DM, but a while back I was taking part in a D&D club at the school I was attending. My cousin was also part of the group. My character was a tiefling, and his was a goblin, or something similar. Important things to note are that my cousin's character was roughly 300 pounds, and around 3.5 feet tall. So we come to a hallway. I rolled perception and found that it was rigged all the way down with traps. We were deciding what to do when my cousin makes a decision.
So, how are you planning on getting through?
I run down the hallway.
What?
Like, full speed. I just run to the end of the hallway.
You are aware that your character is extremely overweight and doesn't have great agility, And if you run down the hallway, you're probably gonna die.
I can make it.
Okay, roll to see if you make it to the end unscathed.
Nat 20.
The DM was surprised. Well then, the rest of the party watches as your fat little goblin body sprints down the hallway, fire traps and arrow traps activating behind you as you run, barely missing you. At the end, you find a lever.
So basically, my cousin pulled the lever which shut all the traps off, and we then continued on with our quest. Not a DM, but me and a couple of my friends were playing a Christmas campaign and we found ourselves in a town. I went to the jewelry and asked if there were any magic items.
The jeweler says only 3. 2 rings with some magic I forgot, and 1 necklace with an unknown power.
I'll take the unknown necklace.
I proceed to give the jeweler 100 gold for the necklace, and I wanted to know what it did before I put it on, so I rolled for intimidation.
The jeweler seems like he's seen some shit, so he'll be hard to intimidate. You'll have to roll a 19 or 20.
Proceeds to roll a 20.
The jeweler pisses. The jeweler pisses and probably shits his pants in fright, and hurriedly tells you that it gives you the world's most majestic mustache.
Pretty fair deal if I say so myself. First session of a new game. My sister is playing her very first character, a halfling fighter. My sister's boyfriend also is a newbie with a new character, a human thief. And a friend of mine and my sister, also new to D&D. She is playing an elven druid. My husband is the DM. He has worked for months on this world. I've played for a year or so, and this is my third character, a human cleric. We all awake in a cell with nothing but loincloths. We all introduce ourselves and look around. There are no guards or any escape. We wait for a while until my sis's BF decides to pick the lock with a rock. It eventually broke, but not before a huge earthquake hit and the back wall of the cell fell away, revealing a beach on a boiling sulfur river. Did the BF go with us? No. Eventually, my sister, friend, and I find some boats designed to travel this river, away from the freaking out hordes of doom. Well, stubborn BF ends up going all the way through the empty prison and finds himself with us. We all head out of what we have learned is the main headquarters of the 3 big bad evil guys. As we raft down this killer river, arrows start whizzing by us. We look up and it's a group of archers and a woman mage firing on us from a bridge 60 or so feet above us. My sister's halfling picks up a rock from the bottom of the boat and throws it. Nat 20. At the mage. She rolls to knock down the mage. The mage falls back over the rail and into the boiling sulfur behind us. This wasn't just one of the 3 big bad evil guys. This was the glue that held the bad guy group together. My sister is no longer allowed to throw rocks in any campaign my husband runs. We did keep playing this campaign and more crazy stuff happened, but this put a hard stop to that. First session only 20 minutes in. So, we were fighting some huge-ass worms in a cave full of were-rats. After our fight with the worms, I just approached the were-rats that saw their leader get killed. So, I just look at the DM and say, I want to become their king. He just laughs at my proposal and says, okay, pal, go for it. But so you know, you have to get a really high. He stops when he realizes that I just got a nat 20 at my persuasion check. Now, the were-rats live together with people and help the city. Hey guys, it's me, Brian. Just wanting to say we appreciate all the support and love you've given us. If you like what we're doing, then make sure to leave a like and a sub. If not, hey, a thumbs down works too. Just tell us how we can improve in the comments below. And also remember, we're always looking for more stories to read. So if you have a submission, throw it in the comments below as well, and maybe you'll hear it live in the future. Thank you again, and have a good one, everybody.